One fact for every Pokeball in Pokemon, ranging from how the Master Ball can fail, to the disturbing backstory of the Unite Ball, to even uncovering the strongest Pokeball that exists. Let's do this. Pokeball. The back of every Pokemon card has an incorrect Pokeball on it, because if you look closely, the ball's opening on the top half instead of the bottom half. And funny enough, there are even Pokemon cards where the ball is correctly opening, but still have the incorrect Pokeball on the back. Along with that, did you know that Pokeballs don't shrink the Pokemon? Because it was confirmed 20 years ago in the Pokedex Handbook and recently in Legends Arceus that Pokemon have the capability of shrinking themselves. So really when you capture a Pokemon, they're probably using the move Minimize so they can fit in the Pokeball. Great Ball. The Great Ball is called the Super Ball in Japanese. It even featured an S on the front of its original artwork. And I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that it's entirely possible that the Super Ball is based on Superman. Because just look at them. They both have a yellow S with a blue color scheme, and the two red stripes on the Great Ball look like the straps for Superman's red cape. You see it? Ultra Ball. If you look at the top of an Ultra Ball, you'll notice that the lines create an H. And this is because the Ultra Ball is called the Hyper Ball in Japanese. And even in some instances, it has a blatant H on the front of it for some reason. Master Ball. Here is every instance where the Master Ball can fail. Throwing the ball at a trainer's Pokemon, throwing the ball at the ghost in Lavender Town, and even the Marowak when you identify the ghost. Giving the Master Ball to the old man in Viridian City. The Rattata will just pop out and be unfazed by it. Throwing the ball at the glitch Pokemon, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, 0-0. And I guess throwing the Master Ball at a Whiscash, because I guess Whiscash are just godly. Another fun fact is that apparently Professor Oak created the Master Ball, according to this old Pokemon Power magazine, and that he simply licensed the Master Ball to the Sylph Company, so he's probably filthy rich. Safari Ball. If you try to enter the Safari Zone with less money that is required in Pokemon Yellow, the Safari Clerk will still allow you to go in, but with Safari Balls that is proportionate to how much you paid for. You could even go in the Safari Zone with no money, but you will only receive one Safari Ball. Fastball. Due to a glitch in the Johto games, the Fastball only had a boosted catch rate when capturing 3 Pokemon, Magnemite, Grimer, and Tangela. Its original purpose was to have a boosted catch rate against Pokemon that can flee in battle, but for some reason, the game only registered the first 3 Pokemon on this table. Funny enough, Brock used the Fastball on a Pineco in the anime, but Pineco isn't even a Pokemon that can flee a battle, and probably even move for the most part. Level Ball. The Level Ball is made from red apricorns, but when you look at the ball, there's hardly any red on it, so Kurt must really be wasting a lot of the apricorn in order to make this ball. Another fun fact is that in the Avengers manga, Crystal, who's known as the catcher in that universe, punted a Level Ball at literal Arceus to get a reading on how powerful it is. And of course, the ball just bounced off of Arceus, leaving it unfazed. Lure Ball. The 3 lines on the Lure Ball probably represents the gills of a fish. It could also represent the 3 different rods, the Old Rod, the Good Rod, and the Super Rod, although it is unconfirmed. Heavy Ball. Only in Pokemon Sun and Moon, the Heavy Ball will always fail to catch a Pokemon whose weight is less than 100 kilograms, which in turn made Beldum and the Guardian Deities uncatchable with his Pokeball. Along with that, the bumps that you see on the Heavy Ball are most likely ways to make the ball heavier, so you gotta be pretty strong to throw this ball. Love Ball. Just like the Fastball, the Love Ball was glitched in the Johto games too. Instead of having an 8 times catch rate modifier against Pokemon of the opposite gender, it only worked on Pokemon of the same species and same gender. Another fact is that the most perfect Pokemon to catch in a Love Ball is probably a shiny Jangmo-o, due to it having a pink heart on his head. Friend Ball. The Friend Ball is unobtainable in X and Y, but it still appears at the Pokemon Boutique in Lumiose City. It's right there. Moon Ball. Another glitch in the Johto games caused the Moon Ball to have an increased catch rate on Pokemon that evolve with a Burn Heal. Yeah, you heard that right, a Burn Heal. I wonder what kind of Pokemon that would be. Sport Ball. Before the Cramomanic, the Sport Ball, previously known as the Park Ball, was unobtainable for 20 whole years. But because another Park Ball was made for the Sinnoh games, they completely changed its design and its name. And here's a side-by-side comparison. Netball. The Netball is actually an extremely powerful Pokeball if you know how to use it, and all it requires is the move Soak, because after you soak a target and turn them into a water type, you will get a 3 times multiplier with the Netball, which happens to be 1x better than the Ultra Ball. Another fun fact is that the Netball is apparently only made in Moss Deep City, according to this person anyway. Dive Ball. Due to a glitch, the Dive Ball has a boosted catch rate against Tropius that fly above the water, which is actually the complete opposite of what the Dive Ball should be good against. Nest Ball. The Nest Ball has a lot of irony, because in the video games, it's a pretty lackluster Pokeball that's only good for low-level Pokemon. But in the trading card game, it is one of the best cards ever printed, because it can capture quote-unquote basic Pokemon like Arceus and the Creation Trio. So instead of capturing Caterpie with this Pokeball, you can capture gods. Repeat Ball. Here is every trainer that has a Pokemon inside of a Repeat Ball. Brendan from the Jirachi movie has a Shiftry inside of a Repeat Ball. For some reason, Lucas and Don are both holding Repeat Balls in their official artwork, meaning they have at least one Pokemon in a Repeat Ball. All of the scientists and mass employees at the Aether Foundation have their Pokemon inside of Repeat Balls. The game designer for Game Freak, Kazumasa Iwao, has his Pokemon in Repeat Balls. And finally, the Poison Team star boss Atticus keeps all his Pokemon inside of Repeat Balls, which basically means that all these trainers have duplicates of the Pokemon inside these Pokeballs. Timer Ball. In Generations 3 and 4, it took a whopping 30 whole turns for the Timer Ball to reach its maximum 4 times catch rate, which made it a pretty terrible ball. Nowadays, it only takes 10 turns. Another fun fact is that the Timer Ball has only been used once in all of Pokemon, which was by Emerald in the Adventures manga when he tried to catch Jirachi. He threw the ball, but he got sliced in half, so its one shining moment was an epic fail. Luxury Ball. There's an NPC in Black City who has a luxury ball for sale at 50,000 Pokédollars, which is even a bigger scam than the Magikarp dude in the Kanto region, since you can easily buy a luxury ball for $1,000 in Undella Town. Premier Ball. One of James's quirks in the anime is that he loves collecting Pokeballs, and it was revealed that he's an Ultra Ball, Great Ball, Quick Ball, Heal Ball, Dust Ball, and a prized Premier Ball. And James is such a good guy that he gave away his prized Premier Ball to Ren for winning his radio show. What a fella. Dust Ball. There are a few special circumstances where the Dust Ball works outside of caves and at night. The first one is that it will always have an increased catch rate on New Moon Island, even during the day. And the second instance is that it will work in all of Galar during the darkest day, which is pretty cool. Heal Ball. Starting in Sun and Moon, all Pokemon Center nurses keep their Pokemon in Heal Balls. And then starting in Sword and Shield, all Dodgers keep their Pokemon in this ball too, which is pretty flavorful. Quick Ball. Starting in Generation 5, every Pokemon they see scrolling on the screen right now is a guaranteed capture by the Quick Ball on a first turn throw. And yes, it is still scrolling, which in my opinion makes the Quick Ball the second best Pokeball behind the Master Ball in all of Pokemon. Cherish Ball. The first ever event Pokemon to be distributed in a Cherish Ball was Shokuten's Tropius. And this event Tropius was referenced in the Japanese Sinnoh remakes, with an ace trainer named Shoko who has a Tropius and a Cherish Ball, which in turn made this trainer the only trainer in all of Pokemon to have a Pokemon inside of a Cherish Ball. Park Ball. The Park Ball from the Sinnoh games and the Strange Ball are the only Pokeballs that cannot be a Pokemon's own Pokeball. Another fact is that the Park Ball is probably the rarest Pokeball in all of Pokemon, since it's only temporarily used in the Sinnoh games. Dream Ball. The ball guy in Wyndham Stadium can give you a Dream Ball as a gift, which happens to be the first time in all of Pokemon that the Dream Ball became available outside of Entry Forest. So this guy must be a wizard. Beast Ball. The Japanese name for the Beast Ball is actually the Ultra Ball, because the Ultra Ball in Japanese is known as the Hyper Ball. And since we already have a Pokeball known as the Ultra Ball in English, Game Freak instead took the Beast part of the Ultra Beast name and called it the Beast Ball. Hisuian Pokeball. The Hisuian Pokeballs are actually worse than a regular Pokeball, because a regular Pokeball has a 1x catch rate modifier, while the Hisuian ones have a 0.75, which sounds about right, because the modern Pokeball should be more advanced. Along with that, if you flip the Hisuian Pokeball upside down, it looks kinda sus. Hisuian Great Ball. Legends Arceus revealed the secret to why the Great Ball is greater than the Pokeball, and it's basically because the Great Ball has an iron chunk in it while the Pokeball doesn't, which basically means the Great Ball is heavier and more metallic. Hisuian Ultra Ball. The Hisuian Ultra Ball is actually better than the modern Ultra Ball, having an extra 0.25 catch rate in comparison. So maybe over time, Pokemon just got better at breaking free of this Pokeball, or that manufacturers who produce the ball are just making less quality versions. Feather Ball. The wings of the Feather Ball resemble the letter F. You see it? Wing Ball. The symbol on the Wing Ball looks a lot like Fleur de Lis, which is a symbol from France that simply means lily flower. So maybe these Pokeballs originated from the Kalos region. Jet Ball. The Jet Ball has a wing design that we have never seen on any Pokemon, so I wonder what Pokemon it could be based on. Hisuian Heavy Ball, Leaden Ball, and Gigaton Ball. The Spanish names for the Hisuian Heavy Ball, Leaden Ball, and Gigaton Ball are Peso Ball, Kilo Ball, and Quintal Ball. So based on this, the Hisuian Heavy Ball may weigh as much as a peso coin, the Leaden Ball may weigh as much as a kilo, which is 2.2 pounds, and the Quintal Ball may weigh as much as a quintal, which is 112 pounds. Or this is how much force balls emit. Origin Ball. Because of the Origin Ball, Dialga and Polka became the only Pokemon that can be legitimately caught in every single type of Pokeball, since the Origin Ball is only able to capture their origin forms. GS Ball. The GS Ball is a Pokeball of many names, because originally it was known as a Gold Silver Ball, but then an NPC in Ultra Sun and Moon claimed that it stands for the Greatest Smith's Ball. In French, it is known as the Giga Super Ball. In German, it is known as the Geniala Super Ball, which basically means Brilliant Super Ball. In Mandarin, it is known as this, which translates to Kurt's Handsome Ball, which is probably my favorite one. Another fun fact is that this is what the GS Ball looked like before the anime. You can see the G on the top side with the gold and the S on the bottom with the silver, which is pretty cool. Pester Ball. The Pester Ball is a ball used to quite literally pester Pokemon, since when you throw out a Pokemon Snap, it either knocks out the Pokemon or stuns them. And funny enough, they didn't bring the Pester Ball back in the new Pokemon Snap, because apparently they wanted to treat the Pokemon more humanely. Glacia's Ball. Glacia's sprite from the Hoenn Elite Four looks like she's holding a golden Pokeball of some sort, and even in her official artwork, she has a golden ball as her belt buckle. So I wonder what Pokeball this could be. Although in the remakes, she's simply holding a regular Pokeball. Snag Ball. The Snag Ball is a regular Pokeball that has been specially charged by the Snag Machine, which allows a player to capture other trainers' Pokemon. And since the Ore region was confirmed to be canon in the Kanto remakes, this means that it's entirely possible to capture other trainers' Pokemon if you modify your Pokeballs. Typing Ball. The Typing Ball is a Pokeball that you capture Pokemon after you spell their name right. So if this was canon in the main series games, this would just be broken. Well, except for Olomomola, because that name is just crazy. Transfer Ball. The Transfer Ball is a ball used to capture Pokemon being transferred from the Sinnoh games. So along with the Snag Ball, this ball can capture other trainers' Pokemon too. So maybe this ball was charged by a Snag Machine as well. Ride Pager Ball. Here is the official artwork of the Ride Pager Ball in action. As you can see, it is placed in the Ride Pager to transfer Ride Pokemon, which is pretty cool. Dynamax Ball. Here is the concept art for the Dynamax Ball. It looks like it originally had a diamond on the front of it. Strange Ball. The Strange Ball is a placeholder for Pokeballs that are not in the game. So if you transfer a Pokemon in a modern Pokeball in Legends Arceus, it will be in a Strange Ball. Which makes the Strange Ball, along with the Cherish Ball, the only in-game Pokeballs that are impossible to obtain. Unite Ball. The Unite Ball is one of the most disturbing Pokeballs because when you capture a Pokemon with it, it essentially transforms it into pure energy. And for what happens to the Pokemon itself is pretty unknown, but I have a good guess that it dies. Terra Orb. Here is the official artwork for the Terra Orb. Green Ball. This green Pokeball made a single appearance in the first episode of the anime, and then it was never seen again. And it can't be a Safari Ball because the Safari Ball in the anime has an S on the front of it, and the fact that Onix can't be found in the Safari Zone. So this Pokeball is purely unique to Bruno. Bulbasaur Ball, Charmander Ball, Squirtle Ball, and Pikachu Ball. In the very same episode, we see even more Pokeballs only featured once in the entirety of Pokemon, with the Bulbasaur Ball, Charmander Ball, Squirtle Ball, and the Pikachu Ball. And these Pokeballs are simply just regular Pokeballs with the names of the starter engraved on them, with the Pikachu Ball having a lightning bolt instead. Gold Ball. The infamous Magikarp salesman that sold James a Magikarp supposedly put the Pokemon inside of a golden Pokeball. However, the Pokeball just turned out to be golden plated, so rip to James. PIA Ball. The Pokemon Inspection Agency is a branch of the Pokemon League that inspects the gyms of a region, ensuring they are safe, clean, and provide a challenge for those trying to get a gym badge. And originally, their badges were represented by the PIA Ball, which looked like this. Diamond Ball. The Diamond Ball is no doubt the most expensive Pokeball ever featured in Pokemon ever, because just one of the diamonds could be tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars. And there seems to be at least 30 of them on the Pokeball, so that Meowth is one lucky Pokemon. Unearthly Urn and Spoon, Dark Device, and Paintbrush Bell. The Unearthly Urn and Spoon, Dark Device, and Paintbrush Bell are the original Pokeballs when it comes to Pokemon lore. And the ancient Pokemon that were inside these artifacts were a giant Alakazam in the Unearthly Urn and Spoon, a giant Gengar in the Dark Device, and a giant Jigglypuff in the Paintbrush Bell. My only question is, how did they store these Pokemon inside these? Richie's Ball. Richie has Pokeballs with stickers on them, and I'm not gonna lie, they look pretty dang awesome. Captain's Ball. The Captain's Pokeballs are blue instead of red, and along with that, they are over 300 years old, but they look like modern Pokeballs. And for context, here's what a newer Pokeball looked like nearly 40 years ago, so something's not adding up here. Lake Ball. The Lake Ball is pretty much the counterpart of the Park Ball, but for fishing, but it's only used to capture Sea King in the Johto fishing contest. And these Pokeballs don't even shake, so they are essentially a Master Ball for a Sea King. Lococo's Ball. Lococo's Pokeball is another example of a prehistoric ball from 200 years ago, predating even Legends Arceus. Battle Park Ball. The Battle Park Ball is another Johto exclusive Pokeball, with this one being a Pokeball that holds rental Pokemon for the battle facility. No wonder Kurt is based in the Johto region, he probably gets a lot of business there. Giant Stone Ball. The Giant Stone Ball is an extremely old Pokeball, because according to this old man, it was made during olden times to seal Claydol when it was first created. And according to Claydol's Dexit trees, it was made over 20,000 years ago. So this ball is at least 20,000 years old. Pokelannis Ball. The Pokelannis Ball was not made to hold Pokemon, but instead housed the spirit of the deceased king of Pokelannis, which basically confirms that it is possible for humans to be caught in Pokeballs, or that humans are simply Pokemon too. Fishing Ball. The Fishing Ball is simply a marked Pokeball by Team Rocket for their fake fishing contests, and that's basically it. Team Rocket Ball. The Team Rocket Ball has two different designs, with the original one looking like this from the anime special Mewtwo Returns, and the newer one looking like this from Pokemon Journeys. And what's cool about the modern Team Rocket Balls is that they house random Pokemon each time Jesse and James use them. And here's a list of every single Pokemon that was ever housed in a Team Rocket Ball, totaling up to 53 different Pokemon. And yes, that includes a Magikarp. Rocket Ball, Boomerang Ball, Bomb Ball, Chase Ball, and an unnamed ball. All of these new Pokeballs were made by Kana in the new Pokemon anime, Pokemon Horizons, with the Rocket Ball being a Pokeball that has miniature rocket engines on it to boost its speed, the Boomerang Ball being a Pokeball that curves back around once thrown, the Bomb Ball being a Pokeball that simply just explodes, the Chase Ball being a Pokeball that homes in on the target on a set of wheels, and the unnamed Pokeball that Kana gives to Orla as a gift at the end of the episode, and it looks pretty cool. Ancient Ball. The Ancient Ball is one of the main plot devices in Pokemon Horizons, where the heroes are trying to find the Pokeballs that contain Pokemon of an ancient adventurer. And so far we have seen a shiny Rayquaza, a giant Arboliva, a Galarian Moltres, and a Scarred-up Lapras. Mewtwo Ball. There is a disturbing theory that the Mewtwo Balls are made from the scientist's remains, because in the scene where Ash enters the machine that creates the Pokeballs, you can see that the arms of the machine are made from human bones. So basically the eyeballs that you see on the Mewtwo Balls are probably real human eyeballs, which is very disturbing. Crystal Ball. The Crystal Ball is probably the strongest Pokeball to ever exist, but only if it's real, because essentially these Pokeballs can spawn any Pokemon Molly imagines, with the power of unknown. Sammy's Old Ball. No, not that Sammy's Old Ball, but the Pokeball that Professor Oak shows Ash as a child. This Pokeball is another example of a pre-modern Pokeball, with this one dating back to around 100 years after Legends Arceus. Dark Ball. In my top 10 strongest Pokeball video, I rate the Dark Ball as the strongest, because for one, it can capture Pokemon already owned by a trainer. For two, it can power scale Pokemon to their max level while making them pure evil. And for three, the Pokemon will obey any commands by the master of the Dark Ball. So yeah, it is pretty dang powerful. Annie and Oakley Ball. For some reason, the antagonists of the Pokemon Heroes movie, Annie and Oakley, have their own Pokeballs. And along with that, they even had their Pokeballs become merchandise, which had never happened before with a unique Pokeball. Guardian Staff. Sir Aaron from the Lucario movie had an Guardian Staff that was used to contain his Lucario, and this could be one of the forerunners to the modern Pokeball. Catchrace Ball. The Catchrace Ball is simply a Pokeball used to capture Pokemon in the catch race. Pretty straightforward. DNA Ball. The DNA Ball is simply a Pokeball with the letters DNA on it, where Giovanni used it to capture Deoxys in the Adventures manga. Numbered Ball. The Numbered Ball is a Pokeball with numbers on the button, as seen in the Legend of Pikachu manga, and I assume it allows the trainer to know which Pokemon are in which Pokeball. Enormal Ball X1. In the Legend of Pikachu manga, the Enormal Ball X1 was a giant Pokeball used to capture the Black Fog. And if you didn't know, the Black Fog was a giant ancient hunter that has been plaguing Saffron City for several generations, unaliving hundreds of people. Team Aqua Ball, Team Aqua Great Ball, Team Magma Ball, Team Magma Great Ball, and the Team Plasma Ball. All of these antagonist Pokeballs are in the trading card game, and they all act like a regular Pokeball, but only work for Pokemon that has their team name on them. Pocket Monster Ball. This is what the original Pocket Monster Ball looked like. And finally, the Pokeball Lotto. In the new DLC in Scarlet and Violet, the Pokeball Lotto give you random Pokeballs at random, because it is a lottery for Pokeballs. And just for the fun of it, here are a few bonus Pokeballs. The Great Pinball, the Ultra Pinball, the Master Pinball, the Ultra Pinball 2, the Master Pinball 2, the Global Link Sport Ball, and all of the basic manga Pokeballs with hollow tops on them. And be sure to watch my one fact for every town in Pokemon video right here.